Hello, my name is Barry Rabner. I'm the president and CEO of the Princeton healthcare system. Thanks for your interest in our new replacement hospital. It's a very exciting time for everyone in our organization. It's 54 days before we move into the new hospital. It's been a remarkable process for all of us. Each step of the work we've been doing has been more interesting and more complex than the preceding one. I remember completing the strategic plan back in 2003, and then looking for a site and going through the land use issues, developing a business plan, designing the building, and then actually watching the building being constructed and worrying about the equipment and furniture. It was, again, each step more complex than the preceding one, and I really think we're now involved in the most complex part of the process, which is planning for the relocation. We believe it or not, we expect to accomplish a complete relocation on May 22nd, starting at 7 in the morning and being done probably about 6 hours later. Let me take a few minutes to describe to you how that gets done, because it is hard to imagine. The first thing, actually the very first thing, is to find someone to help you who's done it before. So we found a national consultant who's done it almost 200 times. So we've been listening very closely to everything they have to say. But the first important step is actually to begin a few days before the relocation and start reducing the number of patients that are in the hospital. So, for example, on a typical day, we may have 220 inpatients and a number of outpatients. What we'll do is see if we can't reduce that number beginning a few days ahead of time by changing the way elective procedures are scheduled and a few other things to get the number down to maybe 100 patients or 110. And in that way, and then at the same time, all of our staff know that there's no vacation time just before or during or immediately after the move, so it's all hands on deck. And we'll actually be operating two hospitals, the one in Princeton and the new one in Plainsboro, on the same day. So each facility will be fully staffed for the number of patients that we'll be treating, and that's the main reason for reducing the number of patients. So the emergency department, the operating suites, the patient rooms, the lab, and radiology, all the areas of the hospital will be fully up and running in both locations. And then beginning at 7 o'clock in the morning on May 22nd, we begin transferring patients. And in a nutshell, the key to it is each patient is evaluated by their physician the day before the move, and then again in the morning before they relocate. All the time we're communicating both with the patient and their family about what's coming up. But they'll be seen again first thing in the morning by their physician, who will determine whether or not they're safe to be moved. Assuming they are, there'll be a team of people who are assigned to that patient. They'll go to their room. They'll get their stuff organized and make sure they understand everything that's going to be happening over the next period of time. And then they escort them down the hall, down the elevator, to our emergency department here, again in Princeton. And then they'll go into an emergency vehicle, and the patient, both the patient and the team, will get into the vehicle and drive to the new hospital. I'll talk about the details of that in a second. And then when they arrive at the new hospital, that team will escort the patient into the building, up to their room, and then hand off the patient, if you will, to the treatment team, the care team that's already there, to make sure that they're aware of all of the patient's needs, and their care will hopefully continue seamlessly. I say hopefully, but people should feel comfortable that we've been working on this relocation plan probably getting near 9 months now. And between March 15th, when we received our temporary certificate of occupancy, which means the construction is substantially complete, until we start treating patients on May 22nd, we're doing a lot, our entire staff, to practice in the building, making sure that we understand all of the space, how the facility works, how the equipment works. We have dry runs of problems that routinely occur on a typical day to make sure that everyone is capable of responding appropriately. And then we'll do it again just to make sure that we've got it down pat. So by the time we move, we will have practiced everything multiple times. In fact, a number of my colleagues and I will be patients on 2 different days so that our staff can practice dealing with some of those problems with us before they actually have to help patients. So we think all that practice is going to work out very well for us. Now, the actual transition, the driving itself, we have an ambulance company that will provide the vehicles, and they'll be an ambulance will be leaving our emergency room probably every 4 or 5 minutes until everyone's been transferred. When you're inside the hospital, it'll feel very comfortable, I think, because on a routine day, we may transfer 30 or 40 patients. So it's not unusual at all for us. This is obviously a larger number than typical. And we're going to do it so that different patients will be brought from different corners of the hospital, if you will. So on any floor, in any area, the nursing team will just be focusing on this one patient, and everything will be calm and orderly, and as I had said before, very practiced. And they'll be escorted out to the emergency vehicle. And so the only hub of activity is really the emergency department where people are leaving. So we think we've got that down. We've got lots of time to practice. One of the things that's been important to us, obviously, is completing the construction and getting all of the equipment and furniture in place. And that's just about done. I was at the hospital, the new hospital today. There are actually more people cleaning than there are fixing and constructing things. So we've made great progress with that. In fact, they even started hanging paintings today, to give you a feeling for how far along things are. If you've driven by on Route 1, you may have seen an enormous amount of landscaping that's going on. That's fun to watch as well, and it's, I think, creating a very attractive setting for our patients and their families. We are creating a 32-acre park on the south of the hospital between Plainsboro Road and the Millstone River. That required the demolition of probably a dozen or so buildings. They're virtually all down now, and we're grading and getting ready to do planting and put in a bike path and a bit of parking so that people can use it, and so that our staff and our patients and families can avail themselves of it. Excuse me. And then you may know that we had a nursing home, Merwick, which was in Princeton. It was sold to another company, which a little over a year ago built a replacement Merwick on our 171-acre site, and that's gone terrifically well. There are 200 beds. About half of them are for skilled nursing, and some for subacute care. North of that, north of Plainsboro Road on our site, is an area that's going to be developed by the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. They plan on building up to 100,000 square feet of ambulatory space, and they're going through the municipal approval process now. But their plans are very exciting, and we're really happy that they're going to be there. We've been a partner with CHOP for a couple of years now. They manage our inpatient pediatric unit, provide physicians to the neonatal intensive care unit, and provide consult services 24/7 in the emergency department. So that's just a partnership that has been wonderful for our community because it's materially improved the services that we provide and the scope of services that we provide to children. We have another developer who's interested in building probably about 85 assisted living units on the campus, and they're going through their process. We have another developer who's getting ready to build a child care center. We have, some of you may know, we have a partner in fitness and wellness on Route 206 in Montgomery. And we've been doing that for a number of years. And we're working with that same partner to build a new fitness center on our campus. And work is already begun on that. We expect it to open in the this coming late fall. So we're excited about that. We're also going to be opening a 5-story, 146,000 square foot medical office building, which is attached to the patient tower. Certainly the tower that you see when you're driving on Route 1. You can't see it well because it's in the middle and behind the tower. And that's available. The hospital will be taking some space in the building, and then physicians who are on our medical staff will be taking the rest. And that will, construction on that building will be done on May 11th. The Department of Health comes in, makes sure everything is done properly, and we expect to begin treating patients there toward the end of May, probably May 26th. One other facility to tell you about is we actually have our own power plant on the site that will use natural gas to produce steam and chilled water and electricity. It's important to us for a number of reasons. One is it gives us a huge amount of redundancy so that we ought to always have power. That plant will produce power. Then we're plugged in, if you will, with public service electric and gas, and they'll be able to provide us with all the power we need. And then we have diesel engines to back that up that provide power in an emergency as well. Depending on how we use it, it could actually take care of us for 2 weeks. I was telling someone the other day, if those 3 sources fail, we have a chapel, because at that point, who knows what serious problems there are. So we're excited about that. We also will have a field of photovoltaic cells that will provide electricity to us, and a host of other sustainable features that we expect will reduce our energy costs by as much as 25%. And as important, we believe it'll reduce our carbon footprint by as much as 50% compared to what it would have been had we used more conventional sources of power. We're using all sorts of sustainable features in even planting the site. So we won't be using fertilizers and pesticides and artificial irrigation, using indigenous plants and it's going to, I think, result in a terrifically good-looking but sustainable setting for us. I see we have some questions, so let's see. Why did you choose to cover the entire exterior with glass? So I think we may be the only building on Route 1 that doesn't face Route 1. We purposely positioned it so that it faced south. And in that way, we maximize the amount of natural light that's coming into the building. There's actually sound research that demonstrates a significant impact on patient clinical outcomes when there is natural light in their treatment areas. So we think that almost 90% of the space in our new building will have natural light. Interesting, it's attractive and has that health benefit, but it creates some interesting engineering challenges. As you can imagine, it requires management. So on the exterior of the building, for example, you'll see horizontal shades. They're positioned so that in the middle of the summer, it reduces the amount of solar heat gain. You can see from this picture that there are then these huge Venetian blinds, if you will, on the interior of the building as well, also to manage the heat gain. And then we've got light sensors that will measure the amount of natural light coming in so that we only use as much artificial lighting as necessary as a way of saving energy. Will members of the current Princeton Fitness and Wellness Center be able to use the new fitness center? Yes, which I'm glad about because I'm a member of the current fitness center and the new one is just a short distance from my office. But yes, everyone who's a member of the existing fitness center in Montgomery would be able to participate in the new center as well. I think that's, and I've seen the plans for it. I think people are going to be very pleased with what's being built. I had gotten a question the other day about the financing of the project, and we've really been very fortunate. Through our capital campaign, we've been able to raise to date about $143 million, and all of that is being used to help us build our project. We've been able to sell the real estate that we currently own. So I mentioned that we sold the old Merwick site. We've also sold the existing hospital, our medical office building on our site, and a surface parking lot adjacent to us. And the capital from those sales have gone to the new project. And then we were fortunate in being able to get 4 commercial lenders to lend us money to build a new hospital, and we were able to do that through the New Jersey Hospital Financing Authority. Another bit of really great luck for us was that when we went out for financing, we were able to get loans at less than 3%. So with the sale of the assets, the philanthropic success that we've had, our good fortune in being able to borrow at really very low rates, and putting some of our savings to the project, we're confident that we've really developed a business plan and a hospital that's viable long into the future. Why did you choose to use all single rooms? And how will visiting hours and visiting family members work? Single patient rooms is a really important part of the design of our hospital. A lot of people think of it as, in what I see as the most obvious benefit in it, and that's the privacy and the ability to be there with your family and to be able to talk to your physician and your caregivers in a very candid way. So it'll enhance communication as well. What people may not realize is it's probably the best thing we can do to reduce infections. And there are a number of other things I'll talk about in a minute that we've done to reduce infections, like all patient care areas have 100% fresh air. But didn't want to forget to tell you that. But going back to the patient room, so we'll be able to reduce infections by that. And it also, I think, makes it a lot more conducive for family members to stay in the room as much as they like. Each room will have a couch, not unlike the one behind me, but it will open up into a bed. There'll be a guest chair. There's even a reading light next to the bed, to the couch, so that the visitor can read without disturbing the patient. And we really will be encouraging families and friends of the patient to stay. There'll be storage space for them, even a safe, so they can put their belongings. They can secure their belongings. But I think it's much easier for a family, both because they have the physical resources around them so that they can stay, but it's also more comfortable because they don't have to be concerned about disturbing anybody else in the room. Visiting hours are a thing of the past. People are welcome to come in and stay as long as they like. There are times when the staff will ask a visitor to leave the room because of services that they'll be providing to the patient. But we have provided family rooms near on every floor near the rooms, so that families can go there while care is being delivered in the room. So we think that'll be very very conducive and for the families to spend the time at the hospital with their loved one. Are you concerned about traffic on Route 1 given the new location? Yes, and we were concerned with it from the very first day that we set out to evaluate new sites for the hospital. It's funny, I was born and raised in New Jersey, so North Jersey, in fact, so I'm pretty used to a lot of traffic. But Route 1 is certainly a concern for the people who live on the Princeton side. For people living in East Windsor, and West Windsor, and Plainsboro, and other towns in that area, it ought to be much easier, and issues with Route 1 are just not material. So let me talk about the impact on people living in Princeton and Hopewell and Ewing and that side of Route 1. Excuse me. We've done a few things. The biggest problem we had to deal with was Harrison Street. Anyone who's driven on it toward Route 1 during rush hour knows that they are likely to wait 9, 10 traffic light changes before they're able to get through. So we've been working with the Department of Transportation and with the help of Princeton University, have been able to make changes at that intersection, Harrison and Route 1, so that there's now, and I think it was completed, the changes were completed in toward the end of December, where there's a new turning lane that'll enable you to turn right or left, and then there's a left turn lane. I've driven there really countless times since December, and I've never waited more than one traffic cycle to get through. And I've talked to a lot of other folks, and they've had the same experience during rush hour. So it's remarkable to me because it's a fairly modest change. It's not a cloverleaf, it's not an overpass, but it was terrifically effective. So we think we've made a huge impact on that problem. Another feature that we've designed into the site is an entrance that is to the campus that's available only to emergency vehicles. When you're driving north on Route 1, you'll see it to the right. There's a control arm there. There'll be signs that note that it is to be used just by emergency vehicles. But they'll be able to go to that curb cut and activate the arm and drive directly into the emergency room drop-off area. So we're excited about that feature. Another thing we've done is built into the traffic light at Route 1 and Harrison a device called an Opticon. And it enables ambulances that have a zapper with them to change the light from quite some distance away. So as they approach, they'll be able to turn a red light green. Cars in front of them will actually now have room to pull to the side, but can certainly drive through the intersection, and there ought to be no reason for delay for the ambulance itself. And we think that's going to be that will be an important feature. Let's see. Are you adding any new services? The simple answer is yes. What's exciting for us is, not only is the facility brand new, but all of the equipment is as well. So at least for the day we open, everything will be at the state of the art. And then the capabilities of the technology are really extraordinary. And we have physicians who have all the skills necessary and the staff necessary to operate this technology, and really enabling us to do things that we could not otherwise do. So I'm probably not the best person to describe what those capabilities are, but we'll be able to do more in orthopedics, more in spine surgery, more vascular surgery, neurosurgery. Probably the best examples of it. So, and our capabilities are expanding as our medical staff expands. You know, in the last 10 years, we've gone from a medical staff of about 300 physicians to today where it's over 1,000. Really very talented people who've brought new capabilities to us, and a significant growth really in the last year. As they come on with their skills, we're able to expand our programs. You know, one of the guiding principles that we have that's really very important to us is we want everyone who uses our new hospital to know that if we provide the service, that they can't get that care anywhere else better. Because either we have nailed it and we provide the best care possible, or we really ought not to do it at all. You know, one of the great things about living in Central Jersey, excuse me, is we all have access to some remarkable hospitals that can provide these most sophisticated tertiary, quaternary services. And it would be silly for any hospital to look to replicate them. For us, we believe we'll be able to take care of maybe 85, 90% of what people need and do it as well as anyone. And that if and we need to be able to demonstrate that through measurable results, and we believe we can do that. And then if someone has a need that exceeds our ability, like transplant or burn, the team in the emergency department are absolutely capable of doing everything that's necessary to stabilize the patient and make the arrangements for a very safe and rapid transfer to the right hospital for that care. In fact, we'll be looking to install a helicopter pad so that we can do that even more rapidly than we would be able to today. I'm impressed by the growth of your medical staff. Will you be adding new types of doctors at the new hospital? The medical staff at our hospital, and probably most, is a combination often of employed physicians, independent physicians, doctors who come to, who choose to practice at our hospital, and other physicians that we look to recruit. So one of the things that we do is routinely evaluate the demand for services in the area that we provide care and see where there are gaps, either in availability or perhaps the service itself is simply not available in the region. And then we'll look to recruit physicians, either independent physicians, or we'll look to employ physicians to fill that need. So I do expect, because of our new capabilities and our new facility, to be able to recruit additional physicians and as a result, new programs and services. Oh, this is a good thing. On May 12th, between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m., we're going to have a community open house. And we are excited about the opportunity to show you around. So we hope you'll come. There'll be self-guided tours. We'll have healthcare professionals on site to answer your questions. We'll have we'll provide screenings. We'll have activities for children. There'll be some entertainment and an opportunity for you to see what we've been working on for the last 3 years. So please, just take an hour at least. Well, you'll need more time to see what we've been up to, but at least come out for an hour and see what this community has built and how we are working to really to redefine how care is delivered in Central Jersey. Thank you for your attention. If after this cast you have any questions, please just call the hospital and we'll get an answer out to you. Have a good night.